Hey everyone, welcome back to Soul Freaks. My name is Sony. So for this episode, we'll be looking at a very popular classic colorway for the Air Jordan 3. So this was popular back in the 1987-88 season, and of course, worn specifically by his Airness himself, Michael Jordan. So join me in this episode and let's take a look. What we have here is the Air Jordan 3 Fire Red colorway. Now, the Air Jordan 3 was designed by the legendary Tinker Hatfield himself. So this was released back in 1988. So most of the part of the season, Michael Jordan has been wearing this particular Fire Red colorway. So except for the white and black cement during the All-Star weekend, Michael Jordan was wearing mostly this one for most of the season. So what makes the 1987-88 season historic for Michael Jordan? So that was the time where he won most of the individual awards. So MVP, All-Star MVP, Defensive Player of the Year. So again, a very historic season for Michael Jordan. And technically, the sneaker itself is a very historic colorway. Alright, now so let's go for the upper materials of the Air Jordan 3. Now, majority of the upper is made of soft leather, and that goes from the lateral side going to the medial side. Now, on the top, we have here an all-white upper, and at the same time, attached to it or stitched to it, we have the iconic elephant print on the forefoot and on the heel area. Now, to add a little bit of contrast to the colorway, they added a light gray leather on the tongue here, so also on the lace eyelet. Now, for the tongue, we have here is the Jumpman logo. Now, I mentioned earlier that the Air Jordan 3 was the start of using the Jumpman logo compared to the Air Jordan 1 and Air Jordan 2. So, all throughout Air Jordan 3 onwards to today, they're now using the Jumpman logo, including the 2013 release of this sneaker, which was on the heel. Now, the 2022 version of the Fire Red, they went back to the classic one, having the Nike Air logo on the heel rather than the Jumpman logo. Now, on the collar area, we have here is a light gray cushion. So this gives you a better support, especially for your ankle. Technically, this is a mid-cut sneaker, so you should have a better support while wearing the sneaker. And of course, outside here is the red leather, part of the Fire Red design. Alright, now let's go for the midsole. Now, we have here is the foot frame midsole for the Air Jordan 3, which is made of Phylon rubber. Now, as you can see, beneath it, we have two air sole units, one on the heel area and another on the forefoot area. And with that said, it's very well known for the Air Jordan 3 to have the air sole window here on the lateral and also on the medial side. So technically, you can see the air sole unit for the heel. Now, adding to that, we have here is the outer sole and traction pattern. So as you can see, this is a very bit similar to the Air Jordan 2, but with the only small difference on the forefoot, which you'll see little star patterns on the front. Alright, now so let's go for the sizing and the fit. Now for this one, we have a true to size fit for the Air Jordan 3. Now, especially if you have a regular or narrow foot, such as myself, and if you have a wide foot, I prefer that you go a half size up. And of course, like as usual, if possible, if there's a physical store near you, it's better to try them on. So that goes for both fits, right? Now, the sizing of the Air Jordan 3 does not differ from any of the Air Jordan retro releases that we have for the past year. So if you own any model of the retro releases, you should not have any difficulty in selecting your size. Now, in terms of the comfort, we have here what we call this the insole. We just have a regular insole inside, and under that we have the two air sole, one on the heel and one on the forefoot. So you should have a good comfort while walking with the sneaker. Now, at the same time, we have the collar area here with a soft cushion, so it should give you a better support on the ankle area or on the Achilles area. Having a good heel counter here gives you a better lockdown. Now, in terms of the midfoot and the toe box area, you have to make sure that you have a good ventilation on that one. So in that case, again, if possible, try it on a physical store. So because having a very exact size on this one, like when your toe is hitting the edge of the toe box, you will definitely be not comfortable while walking with the sneaker. So this goes for any Air Jordan retro releases, especially the sizing. Since 1988, this was not the first time that they released the fire red colorway. So the most recent one was back in 2013, where in my opinion, they released a inspired version of this said colorway. Now, instead of releasing the classic look, they went for a different route in design. So between the 2013 version and the 2022 version, there are only slight difference in appearance. But in design, construction, and other portion of the sneakers, there are not much difference on that at all. So one of them are the color tone of the elephant print. So you'll notice that in the 2013 release, the elephant print are darker versus the 2022 release, which is following the classic look of the color tone of the elephant print. So that's in the toe box and on the heel counter area. Now, up next here is the most obvious one, which is the heel logo. So for the 2013 version, the heel logo uses the Jumpman logo with the word Air below it. So most of the Jordan 3 releases at the time uses that particular combination for the heel logo. But versus the 2022 release, you'll see the classic Nike Air logo, which is being used or was used during the 1987-88 when the sneaker was released. So again, this version is more of a classic release. Now, the final difference between them are the the sole. So the outer sole, you'll see the word Jordan on it for the 2013 version. But for the 2022 version, you'll see the word Nike. So again, in terms of the appearance of the sneaker, in terms of the construction, no difference at all. But the way they did the design for the colorway, they made some slight changes in the 2013 release. But for the 2022 release, they went back to the classic one. Now, I never had the chance to own that particular pair. So in terms of the performance, I assume they are the same. So sizing, comfort, fit, the traction, they are the same in my in my opinion. Alright, so what's my take on this one? Now, the fire red colorway for me is a very big deal, especially for sneaker collectors out there and Michael Jordan fans around the world. So given that he may not have won the championship that year, this sneaker really defined his career. So the term of fire red really sums it up. So he was really fired up that season, that really gave him the title of greatest of all time. So of course, after the 88 season, he won 6 championships with the Chicago Bulls and other MVPs as well. Now, in terms of the performance, there's no issue on that. So very comfortable. The sizing is true to size again. If your foot is wide, go a half size up. And then there's a good ventilation while wearing the sneaker, so you won't have that tightness feeling. But if you're a fan of tight sneakers, you can go a half size down. Now, in terms of the comfort, so we have the 2 air sole unit on the sole, so no problems while walking with the sneaker. And we have the collar area with a good cushion, so it will give you a good support on the ankle area and also a good lockdown on the heel counter. Now, the best thing about this particular colorway is it follows the original design. So no modifications, no changes in the color tone. This is really one of the best cup of the year, and personally one of my favorite cup of the year. So no regrets on buying this one. So if you'll ask me, this is worth the buy. So aside from owning a piece of NBA history, you'll have one of the best sneaker releases of 2022. Okay, so that's about it for this episode. Now, before we end the video, I would like to thank everyone for tuning in, and I do hope that this video helps you if you still want to purchase the fire red for the Air Jordan 3, if it's still available in your area, of course. Now, I forgot to mention that the box or the packaging also contains a small booklet for a basic information on the sneaker. So if you have any comments or suggestions or even reactions for the Air Jordan 3, feel free to write it down in our comment section below. And please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel here at Soul Freaks. We also have our social media website, Facebook and Instagram. We'll be having different contents as much as we can, including our latest episodes. So, Alright, so before we end the video, again, thank you very much everyone. My name is Tony, and keep moving forward.